What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is Alex Text Kate, and today we're doing our review outside now that I have had this Osight X for about a month now. But we're going to talk about it because this optic is pretty dang cool. It offers some very different features that we haven't seen before in pistol red dots. They really did try to come from a different angle and do something different. So as you see here, here's your little cover. Not only does that work as an optic cover for storage, but it also charges the optic itself. So it is the first rechargeable optic on the market. It has up to 57,000 hours by itself and up to 228,000 hours with the charging cover. So it's supposed to have an extremely long lasting battery. It is a rechargeable battery, which is really nice. You can even hit this little button on the side here, and it will show you what the charge is on the cover itself and the recharging mechanism. You can recharge the cover and then install it on the optic, and it will charge that way, or you can plug your whole system into the wall. I know I did when I first installed it, just based on the factor of, hey, look, I'm plugging it in like my phone. But those things aside, it is a RMR footprint, so same thing as Holosun or Trijicon. So thankfully, I have plenty of those plates around and was able to slap this thing right on top of my PDP. So I've been running it for a little bit. I carry this. This is a full size carry for me. I also shoot this gun a little bit in IDPA when I do shoot it locally. And outside of that, I have let a couple of my students mess with it, as well as I've used it in a couple of classes and lessons thus far. And I do really like this thing. The window size is phenomenal. It's just as big and as good as any of the other ones out there. It's a very similar to the RMR HD window size. It also is a multi-reticle system like an RMR HD or its competitor in its same price range, which is the Holosun 507 Comp. It has the single 3 MOA Dot, the 32 MOA Circle, or you can use both of them at the same time. As far as the actual initial product packaging goes, it looks as good as anybody else's. They have a really nice little opening on the side. It folds open, so the presentation is solid. The optic would be inside here, but obviously mine is not because it's right there. Over on the right side, it's very similar to like my DJI camera equipment box. You get your adjustment tool, a charging cable, which is a USB-C, as well as what looks like is a lanyard of some kind, which I'm assuming is for the magnetic charging cover, which I have already lost and had to refine. So, but aside from that, there's your charging cable, and then your adjustment tool, which also has your Torx bit on the same side for installing the optic itself. Aside of that, you get a big box here, and it has some weight to it of screws. Now, you get pretty much every type of screw that you could need with a size reference diagram right on the back for you as well. Obviously, you need to make sure that you look up what screws are needed for your particular mounting system. Don't miss that. And then there's one extra little thing in here I have not looked at yet. We're going to see what it is. And I'm really bad about these boxes. I pretty much just rip them because they're so annoying. But they even give you, your microfiber cloth that every optic comes with, but they come with this nice little bag for your accessories, which I wasn't using, but I sure am going to now. And that, and I'll tell you what, I'm going to throw an air tag in this bag because I already lost the cover. I'm ADHD though, so, it happens. We're going to put the screws in there too, to be honest with you. And we're going to close that up. A nice little feature they also include in here as well is a full Osight X compatibility chart. That way, when you open the Optic, you get something right in your face. It's going to tell you if it's going to work or not. But I will tell you that has a lot of firearms on it, and it tells you what screws to use, which is absolutely beautiful. That is awesome. Great work, Osight. This is a full what mount you need for what model, what brand, and what screws. This is incredible. So as you can see, they really did not do anything under par when it came to this Optic. Now, with research, I looked around and asked people, you know, what have you heard? What's going on? Now, I have not particularly ran into anybody who's had these problems. I've only heard the hearsay, but so far, I have not experienced either of these two problems. One, it losing zero. I have probably about 1,500 rounds on this Optic now, and I haven't lost zero yet, and that's everything from 128 to 145 power factor 9mm. The other issue that I've heard about is it randomly shutting off. I have not had this issue either. Obviously, defective products exist when you make thousands, tens of thousands of products, especially when it involves technology. But I have not had these problems yet. I'm still really enjoying testing and running this Optic out. So we're going to shoot it a little bit here, talk a little bit more about the reticles that it offers, and the clarity of the glass, the crispness of the dot, and so on. So let's go down range. All right, so we're going to shoot it a little bit. I'm going to go through the different reticles that are on here and kind of see which one I like more. I got a steel challenge staying set up in front of me. We're just going to rip some steel. So we're going to start with the 32 MOA Circle with the dot in the middle and see how we like that. Then we'll do just the dot and just the circle. You don't have to pick as much of a spot, at least for me on steel, like I do on paper. I more so can center in what my target zone is. But let's switch over to just dot and see how it compares. Holding down that minus button, boom, switches to dot. Dot's good too. It's a nice, crisp 3 MOA dot. It's not blurry, it's not shady. It is nice and crisp, very comparable to the 3 MOA on my Skyraider, but a little bit more crisp than a 507 comp, in my opinion. Let's switch to just the circle, see how I like that. So, they're all great. They're all crisp, whether it's just the outer circle, the singular dot, or the circle and the dot. It's all very, very crisp. The window size is great. The glass is pretty nice. You get the same kind of glare that you'll get with a sun coming directly down on it, like you do with any of these optics in the $300 price range, but it is not enough to cause a problem or that I have a quarrel with. Outside of that, the glass being as clear as it is a very nice addition. There isn't any crazy coating on this thing, at least by looking at it. There might be. It just might be invisible. But comparatively to your Trigicons with your blue shade that you can obviously see, you can't tell, but I don't see it as an issue. So far, I'm loving this Optic. We're going to continue to test, and within a year, we will do a follow-up review after I've really put this thing through the ringer. I will tell you if it eventually failed earlier, or if it never does, you'll hear about it eventually. But so far, after a month and a couple thousand rounds in this Optic, I think it's phenomenal for its price range. And guys, make sure you go in the link in the description. There is a link to a discounted rate just for you. So please make sure to hit that if you're interested in trying out one of these Osights, and check them out at www.osight.com. But all in all, great optic in its price range. I think that my two favorites around that price range. I'm going to continue to use this, mess with this, test and try it. This thing has been pretty awesome.